Good afternoon, fourth grade. We're going to continue reading in our fantasy, There's a Whole Nother World Out There text. We've already underlined our definitions for fantasy. It can refer to a dream or an event, wishful thinking, or in this case, stories that have certain definable elements that make it unreal. And the definable elements can be found in the second section, and they can also be found on the first column of your note catcher. Magic, other worlds, universal themes, heroism, special character types, talking animals, and fantastic objects. In our note catcher for magic, we wrote, magic is that which charms, spells, or rituals are used in order to produce a supernatural event. And then we read the section about other worlds. And it said that other worlds are an imaginative creation by the author of a place that is nothing like Earth. And we wrote both of those things down in our note catcher. And we're going to continue reading the next section. So we're going to turn to the next page and we're going to start with universal themes. And you'll want to underline what the definition of each subject is, and we're going to put that in the first column of our note catcher. Universal themes are a must-have in a fantasy story. The most basic of these themes is good versus evil. Fantasy stories, like most stories, offer opportunities for readers to learn about the characters and events. Typically, the themes are implicit within stories or can be determined only by analyzing a story's metaphorical or deeper meaning. And so in the column for universal themes, you would write what we have underlined. The most basic of these themes is good versus evil. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. Next, we have heroism. In many stories, heroes save the day by becoming victorious over evil. Many times, heroes are ordinary people in difficult circumstances. They themselves may not know of their powers or abilities until they are called upon to perform the heroic feats. Some characters are guided by a larger, more powerful force, or are given power by an outside entity. The following quote from A Wrinkle in Time exemplifies not only the idea that ordinary characters are called to do great things, but also that they always find the power within themselves that they had no idea was there. But I do understand that it has to be me. It can't be anyone else. And that was where it made its fatal mistake. For as Meg said automatically, Miss Whatsit loves me. That's what she told me, that she loves me. Suddenly she knew, love. That was what she had that it did not have. And so for heroism, we know that heroes are ordinary people in difficult circumstances. And we would write that sentence in our box for heroism. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep going. And the next section is special character types. Special character types are abundant in fantasies. Some examples are fairies, giants, ogres, dragons, witches, unicorns, and centaurs. We love these characters because they are so different from what we find in our daily lives. However, a good author can shape the character in such a way that the reader has no problem believing that such a being could exist. Alright, and so this section gives us examples of special character types. We will write this sentence in the box. Some examples are fairies, giants, ogres, dragons, witches, unicorns, and centaurs. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. The next section is talking animals. The use of talking animals or anthropomorphism in fantasy stories can be used for several purposes. Sometimes the animals can talk to humans, and sometimes the animals only talk amongst each other and are incapable of talking with humans. The need and use for communication is prevalent in both types of fantasy. Talking toys or other inanimate objects also applies, as in Tori's story, The Velveteen Rabbit, or The Indian in the Cupboard. And so for our box for talking animals, we would write this sentence. Sometimes the animals can talk to humans, and sometimes the animals only talk amongst each other and are incapable of talking with humans. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. Go ahead and turn the page. We're at fantastic objects. Fantastic objects help the characters perform their task or go on a journey. Many times these objects become almost a character in themselves. Where would Dorothy be without her slippers? Harry Potter without his wand? Or Tinker Bell without her dust? Many times characters need such an object to make themselves complete or to realize their full potential. The following quote from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone illustrates the idea that a hero needs an object, and that many times that object finds its way to the hero rather than vice versa. Harry took the wand. He felt a sudden warmth in his fingers. He raised the wand above his head, and a stream of red and gold sparks shot from the end. Mr. Ollivander fixed Harry with his pale stare. "I remember every wand I've ever sold. It is very curious indeed that you should be destined for this wand, and when its brother gave you that scar. The wand chose the wizard. Remember, I think we must expect great things from you, Mr. Potter. After all, he who must not be named did great things. Terrible, yes, but great." And so in the last box for fantastic objects, we would write, fantastic objects help the characters perform their task or go on a journey. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the next step. And at this time, if you have time left at your station, you can go into the second column and you can think about chapters 1 through 11 and write down some examples for if you have seen any of these elements in James and the Giant Peach.